Duchess of Cambridge's Caribbean tour has not got off to the best of starts. They had to cancel one of their first outings in Belize following a protest there. The couple face another backlash when they head to Jamaica today.
Now, a decade ago, polls there suggested 60% support for the Queen. But just 2 years ago, that changed, with more than 55% of people wanting to sever the ties with the monarchy.
Is it time to end the royal reign in the Caribbean? Businesswoman Crystal Daly, who lives in Jamaica, says yes. Political commentator Calvin Robinson, who is based now in Oxford. And I think, Calvin, you're in front of your picture of Her Majesty, aren't you?
I am sorry, it's a bit shiny at the moment. You can't quite see her.
Yeah, but we know it's there. And you say no. Now, you have family links with Jamaica, am I right?
Yeah. So my father's family are from Jamaica. I've still got family that live in Jamaica. Very strong ties in both the UK and Jamaica. It's a strong, flourishing, independent country. And I still think that their Royal Highnesses, Prince William and Kate, will be welcomed warmly, because everyone's welcomed warmly in Jamaica. This idea that they're not wanted there, I don't quite buy into it. But I do see there could be an argument for further independence, and that should be put democratically to the people. That should be put to maybe a referenda or voting based on a party that wants independence. I don't think it should be done through protest of not allowing the royals to come and visit, because it's an honour, and lots and lots of people in Jamaica love the royal family.
Crystal Daly, will you be welcoming the royals when they arrive today?
Well, let me just make this clear. We do not hate the Queen, and we do not hate the royal family. What we are saying is this year we're approaching 60 years since our independence. And since that, we're saying we need to be fully independent from the royal monarchy. We are not throwing dirt at William and Kate, for lack of a better expression. We are saying, what about the conversations about reparations? What about that apology we've been asking for? And it's a good time and it's a bad time for the visit. It's a bad time for the visit because our country is currently recovering from a pandemic. We have not yet seen the tail of COVID-19. And here it is that they're visiting in the midst of us struggling even economically and struggling to get out of the oppressive conditions that COVID has been for us. What are they bringing to the table now? We know the visit is around the celebration of the Queen's ascension to her throne. Now 70 years, we acknowledge that. But we cannot change history, but we would like to enter a conversation to change the rhetoric about what our people experience and where we wish to go for the future.
Crystal, I'm interested. When the royals come, are they perceived as representatives of the British monarchy and effectively foreign dignitaries coming? Or are they which they technically are, the grandchildren of the Jamaican head of state? Because that's ultimately what this boils down to. The Queen is still the head of state of Jamaica. So what's the nub here? Is this about Jamaica's relationship with Britain, or is this about Jamaica's relationship with its own head of state?
I think it's more the head of state argument, in the sense that we are people that who have fought for our freedom. We have fought to have our identity reclaimed. That all of that was stripped from us, and we're saying we want to be completely independent of that. Is it the right time to do that now, quickly? I don't think so, but progressively, that's where we're heading, and we rightfully so. I don't think it's a matter of okay, we don't, as I said before, we don't like the Queen. It's a matter of evolving from what represented oppression, what represented control, what represented a total disregard for who we are as a people and for where we were taken from. So I believe more so that is the line of argument and the thinking of most Jamaicans, especially millennials and Generation Z.
Calvin, I mean, I'm interested that there surely has to be some sympathy in Britain, who has, in very recent history, shown it doesn't like having anything imposed on it by foreign leaders, if you like, and by other countries, to have some sympathy that there's Jamaica thousands of miles away with a head of state that doesn't have any Jamaican heritage, that isn't integrated, that doesn't visit the island. Calvin, surely there's a pretty legitimate argument that, well, being a member of the Commonwealth is one thing, that having the Queen as the head of state, and we're talking about the position, not the person here. It's a pretty legitimate decision to be looking to get rid of the Queen of the head of state for Jamaica.
Yeah, well, Martin, the Queen doesn't control Jamaica. She doesn't rule Jamaica. She is a constitutional monarchy, just as she is for many other Commonwealth nations. And I think there's a strong familial relationship to both Britain and Jamaica. So I obviously have family in both, and I understand Crystal does too, as do many people. And that's what the Commonwealth is. It's a community of family, a community of friends. It's an optional membership, so people are welcome to leave the Commonwealth at any time.
It's a symbol of colonialism, though.
As part of it.
Isn't it a symbol of colonialism? We're not talking of the Commonwealth, we're talking of the Queen.
So let's talk about colonialism. Let's talk about colonialism, Martin, because everyone conflates colonialism with slavery, and they're not the same thing. Slavery was a great evil, an absolute evil, but it was not exclusive to Britain. Every empire indulged in that evil, but the difference is the British Empire eradicated it on a global scale at great expense. Colonialism also meant bringing legal systems, parliamentary democracy, industrial revolution, the English language, education, the whole schooling system, Christianity. We have to look at history holistically and not just point at the bad things about our past, because all of those things are what drew Jamaica and Britain together.
Crystal.
But may I say though, that though that may be true, we're not negating that. Though that may be true, we had no choice but to inherit those things. And I think what we tend to forget is that while we took persons from their own native land, took them from their own customs, gave them new names, totally ripped from them the core of who they are and the core of their existence, then imposed upon them these new things. And we are to say, yay, we are happy to have achieved and received these things, which were not originally ours. And my argument will be, if Africa was allowed to be itself for itself and realize itself for what it could have been, who knows who would be the world power? Who knows who and what would be the standard in terms of democracy or in terms of political power? Who knows? But Africa was never allowed to actualize because of slavery and also colonization. So I just want to make that point clear as well.
Crystal, Calvin, thank you very much indeed for your contributions this morning. Jamaica's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, did say just after Barbados officially removed the Queen as its head of state, Jamaica's Prime Minister said there is no question that Jamaica has to become a republic. Just wonder whether we're moving further towards that point.
It'll be interesting to see whether it's done by a democratic vote or whether it's done by a rule simply coming from the ruling political classes.
But that's the backdrop against which the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge visit the country.